Missed a show? You can download and listen to previous episodes. Go to 1590wcgo.com and find Dr. Ward Bond's show page.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We continue our pre-Valentine's Day Love Fest with special guests Richard and Sherry Bright on how to keep romance alive all marriage long. And Richard and Sherry, kind of give us a quick little background of your expertise in marriage and romance for us.
That's a trick question.
Okay. Well, it didn't start out expertise. We came, we'll give you kind of the quick version, but Richard and I met 16 years ago, and we were partying at the beach and living in the world, and both of us had been divorced, or we were going through a divorce at the time when we met each other. Both of us were going through divorces, and we got together and thought everything's going to be different this time. And then we lived together for the first couple years, found the Lord. We got married, started going to church, and realized we had a lot of baggage and a lot of stuff, and it wasn't the happily ever after right out of the bat. So we had to learn a lot of things.
Yeah, it took work. We didn't realize that I truly had no clue how to be a husband or a father, because I really didn't have anybody teach me the right way. So I just kind of picked it up as I went along, and ended one marriage. And like Sherry said, when we got together and got married, that same baggage and those same beliefs came into this marriage. But
thankfully we got plugged in at church, and we started going to marriage classes and started teaching classes. And then we really became our passion, and we got trained under Jimmy Evans with Marriage Today. And our pastor at our church at Lakewood is Joel Osteen. So we've had some great people modeled to us. And over the years, we've just been able to go out and speak about marriage. We do stand-up comedy for marriages, and it's just, God just put us on a whole nother path.
I love that. You know, my brother, he probably won't mind me bringing this up because he's single, and you know, he's done the whole dating apps and all of that, and he always write on his bio, "I'm not here to carry your baggage." You know, so and so don't bring any. You know,
so
but
he hasn't got any calls, is what you're saying, huh?
Oh, I'm not gonna. No, I'll just say one time I asked him how the dating scene was at our age, and he said, "Well, it's like this. It's like shooting fish in a bucket." And I'm like, I will just leave it right there. I don't want to know. So, but we're ladies and gentlemen, we're having our pre-Valentine's Day show today because remember, next week is Valentine's Day, so do not forget that. And I will remind you again at the end of the show. But Richard and Sherry, should we surprise our partner with romantic gestures?
If surprise is something that it could go either way, if she loves surprises or if he loves surprises, then yeah, a surprise is really nice. But if for somebody like my wife, Sherry does not like to be surprised at all. You know, her surprise is, hey, you want to go to Disney World? And yes, I would love to go. And then we plan it months out. But I cannot surprise her and say, hey, surprise, we're going to Disney World this weekend. So it just depends on
I think it's really all about communication. You know, surprise comes. We talk to couples that they just love when their spouse surprises them and plans it, and they put all that effort into it, and it just, you know, they just love it. And then there's some that just can't stand to be surprised. And Richard used to try to surprise me. Then I would get upset, and then then he's like, I was just trying to do something for you. And then we would be on this crazy cycle of arguing over something. He was trying to do something right. I didn't take it that way. But as over the years, we've learned to talk about it and find out, how do I feel loved? You know, how does he feel loved? And not just what we saw modeled on TV or by our parents, or, you know, not chocolate and flowers is not for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody's Ozzie and Harriet or the Brady Bunch or whoever's on TV now, but, you know, it is communication. And I think we've all hit or had that time where we wanted to surprise our mate or our partner, and then really put all the effort into it, thinking, wow, this is going to be great. And all of a sudden it blows up in our face. And sometimes I think that the other side should just chill out and go, wow, they were trying to do something nice. But a lot of people don't look at it that way, and it's weird.
Right.
Isn't that funny? They don't.
You know, we did that last year. Richard took me to the Galleria, which is the shopping mall, you know, in Houston, and it's a big fancy mall, and he had all these places he had picked out. He took me to Tiffany's. He was going to show me this bracelet and these shoes with the red bottoms and all this like amazing things that he had went and looked around, and then he was going to take me back and surprise me. And I just wasn't into it that much. And I just finally said, do you even know me? Like, I want you. And he's like, what do you want? I'm trying to give you what all women want. And I said, no, what I want is an Xbox. I want to go to Best Buy and get an Xbox. You know,
you were such a dude. I'm like,
you know what? That's funny because my wife asked for an Xbox for Christmas, and that's exactly what she got, and she was happy about it. So I'm like, wow, my wife wants an Xbox. Now, how cool is it? You know, I have the rare version of the Almost the Perfect Wife because, you know, she lets me ride motorcycles. So that's about as cool as you can get.
Well, I'm still praying on that one, Dr. Bond.
Well, here's the secret, Richard. It's called a $1 million life insurance policy.
I was just
That'll get you a bike every single time, knowing she's going to be rich if something happens. Let's now. I want to kind of continue to talk about romance here, and you had said something about don't put romance in a box. What do you mean by that?
Well, again, it's that communication thing. It's talking with your spouse and how do they feel loved and what does romance look like to them? You know, what does, I grew up where there was five girls in my family. My dad on Valentine's brought my mom a big chocolate heart box with a perfume, and then each of the girls got a small chocolate heart box with a smaller version of the same perfume. And I remember thinking, thanks, I guess it was supposed to be, and I saw Richard do it. I thought I was supposed to like it. And, I think as we've gotten over the years, been able to talk about what does romance look like for the other person. And it doesn't have to be just what the world says romance is. It doesn't have to be candlelight and rose petals. Talk to your spouse. I think it really boils down to what does that look like to them. And then that way you can get out of that box. And if you're not the romantic type, you can look online. There's a million ideas of how to romance someone and give them new ideas. Maybe they go take dance lessons, or like for us, we went and took a comedy class 9 years ago, and it changed our life. And it was just so fun together. And that was just, to me, the most romantic thing, that he would take that time to go with me every week, way more than just rose petals.
You know, I think it's also, Dr. Bond, if somebody is doing something spontaneous or doing something to surprise, their spouse or significant other, and the other person has a negative feeling about it, it didn't turn out the way that they thought it was, instead of just both of y'all going there and saying, you know what, just apologize and say, I was trying to do something spontaneous and do something that was going to surprise you. But, what would you like to do? It's Valentine's. What would make you happy? What would just, knock it out of the park for you? Communicate that to them and then go from there, so that, because like you were saying earlier, and like I was saying earlier, that when you give somebody something and you expect them to just, you thought, man, I have gone all out. I have put so much time and so much effort into this. This is going to be amazing. And they're like, thanks. And it's not what you thought the reaction was going to be. It hurts you too. So instead of both people being hurt, then just apologize, move on from it, and don't get caught up there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's weird. There's two types of people. Like you said, there's those that like to be surprised. There are those that do not like to be surprised, and those that do not, there's going to be a negativity coming back at you. And for all of my listeners out there, it's all about communication. Listen to your other half. Ask them questions. I find, Richard and Sherry, that sometimes even by asking, the other half, and it's not on my end, but maybe others out there, some people are like, well, don't ask me, but surprise me. And I'm like, you're walking through a minefield and you're hoping you're going to get to the other side alive so everybody will be happy, but it could blow up in your face. And, and to me, communication, social media has ruined communication. Dating apps have ruined dating and marriage and so much more. I come from old school where, not necessarily you show up on the doorstep with flowers, but, we went on dates. We didn't hook up. Hook up was wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And you actually talked. You didn't text. They heard your feelings behind it. You didn't get an emoji, right?
That's exactly right. And so how can all of my listeners find more about you, Richard and Sherry Bright?
Our website is therealbright.com, and we just started a YouTube channel about 2 months ago. With every week we do marriage information, tips, fun marriage stuff, and some a little serious. But it's The Real Bright on YouTube. And we're on social media. So it's the Brights or the Real Brights.
Well, you know what? I think you may need to take your comedy routine to America's Got Talent. So I'll put that bug in your ear. So, ladies and gentlemen, check out Richard and Sherry Bright online at therealbrights.com for more information on helping your marriage be better and happier than ever before. And that's our show today.